Greetings and welcome to the 2022 Women's Day celebration, organized by the Tanzania Human Rights Defenders Coalition. As we celebrate Women's Day today, the Thrdc celebrates Dr. Hellen's lifetime achievement as an emeritus woman HRD for her outstanding, solid, and lifetime record of accomplishment on human and people's rights. Even in her retirement after 22 years of service, the 68-year-old campaigner doesn't hang back to spill her guts to condemn human rights violations, and that makes her an emeritus human rights defender. Since independence, Tanzania has experienced a rise of vibrant women HRDs who stood up courageously to defend not only women's rights but human rights generally, recognizing the role played by women HRDs in the country. What persuaded her to join the human rights defending movement?
It was some sort of a coincidence. When I was doing my master's degree in law, I was doing my research and I went to there was a legal aid clinic called Suwata Legal Aid Clinic for Women. And there I found that they were helping women with legal problems and children. And after I finished my research, I decided to join them, where I was now trying to, because I was seeing the problems people were facing and how they were vulnerable. During that time, that's when my passion for human rights began.
Unlike other women human rights defenders, she has been a human rights advocate in general and not just for children or women. She's telling us how she managed to do that.
In that organization, we looked at human rights generally. We are looking at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and seeing how it is applied in our country and try to see whether the duty bearers are doing their job and the right holders can also take account to that. That's why we were working with several structures. We worked with the parliament, we worked with the police, we worked with the communities, local government, all of that. And during that time, telling people about their right to ensure that we have a good constitution. And before that, we wanted people to understand what is constitutionalism and also people to see the constitution we have, the gaps in that constitution, and why we need a new constitution.
As we know, she was the first woman to lead LHRC as the director. What are the 5 biggest things she did in her leadership that made an impact in the area of human rights?
Big thing we had was a legal aid clinic which was not for women only. It was a legal aid clinic where women and men could come, and our legal aid clinic had more men than women because women at least had several other places to go. So all the men were coming to our clinic, although there were other places like the Tanganyika Law Society and the University of Dar es Salaam. But another big thing which we have been doing was when we did big campaigns, like the institutional campaign, it was a big one, but we also did a campaign to ensure that we have the Commission for Human Rights and Good Governance. We didn't have one. So we campaigned for that when we were celebrating, I think, the 50th year of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We did a big campaign, we went to the parliament, and the shrug was formed.
Compared to now, what was the greatest demand for human rights when she started her career as a human rights defender, and how did she succeed?
The problem there were those marital problems, gender-based violence, they was there, but also there were police brutality, there were land issues, and also laws. There were very, very bad laws, although some have not changed even now.
Dr. Hellen has advice to women HRD today.
The only thing I would say is that people should not be fearful, because the very big problem or a big enemy of our lives is fear. If you are talking the right thing, talk. Don't be afraid.
This is how she became stronger every time she felt like giving up.
I think I have something in me which tells me never to give up.
Thrdc organized this dinner gala to deliberate and celebrate their contribution in the field of human rights in the past 30 years. Notwithstanding the risk and security challenges associated with their work, THRDC recognizes women as the most courageous and unshaken HRDs of all times. THRDC would like to recognize and award Emeritus Human Rights Defender of all the times to Dr. Hellen Kijo Bisimba.